Good morning, everybody. Hope you are all well. We've got a nice daytime stream for you today, so if you're stuck at work, then keep us on in the background and we'll give you hopefully a nice happy flight from what looks to be a rather sunny Madrid up to what I hope is also going to be a nice sunny Scotland, up to Edinburgh this morning. Flight time is roughly around 2.5 hours. The jetway seems to have gotten stuck, so we're just trying to find a long plank that passengers can walk across and get on board to. Oh, great stuff. Microsoft Flight Simulator, eh? God, I love it. So good morning to those of you already in the chat. Chiku Pete, it's time. Colin, good morning. And Nithya, Tachan, Original Game, Cliff, and Spitfire RAF 100. It's been a while since we've done a daytime stream, so it's nice to be able to come in and do one of those. Oh, what a maze of an airport this place is. Madrid. It's huge. So, long taxi as well up to our departing runway. Let's get in and start setting up, shall we? We'll get that flight plan turned on. Fingers crossed we won't have any issues with the plane like we did yesterday. Well, no, actually the plane was fine, wasn't it? It was the PC that died halfway through the stream yesterday. We don't want any of that, so we're just going to go through, start getting set up. I'll pop the operational flight plan as well in the chat in a moment. So we have that set. Craig Salter, good morning. Hope you are. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I know one thing I did forget to do. I forgot to defuel our aircraft. So there we go. That's just quickly redone. We have to do that manually just so we get a little bit more realistic fuel loading. Just reading that. Land traffic taxi into parking via Golf Mike and Juliet. That's fine. It's going to be a while before we're having to worry about other traffic anyway. There's the clicks. Get the fire 1, engine 2, and the APU. So that's all done. So before we go any further, let's have a look at our refueling. And oh, I know what we need to do actually. I need to pop in the company username, Easyjetsimpilot. Oh, try and spell that correctly. There we go. And hopefully that will pop that through. I'll just get the operational flight plan into the chat for you guys. Here it comes. So this is on the YouTube chat for anybody that wants to get that. There we go. So there's the operational flight plan. Current QNH here in Madrid 1021. And 3401 knots, so winds are very light, aren't there? No problems there. Ceiling and visibility fine, 24 degrees, and then we're heading up to Edinburgh, 17 degrees at the moment. It's certainly getting warmer here, and I know from checking the operational flight plan just before we started, then the weather shouldn't be too much of an issue today. There's occasionally maybe a few rain showers in Edinburgh, but not too much to warrant a problem. So with regards to what fuel we're going to take with us this morning, we're looking at we've got 8 tons. However, the taxi is only 200 there. We should probably have a little bit more for the length of taxi we're going to have to do this morning. So if we take 9 tons in total, then I think we'll be absolutely fine. So let's go ahead and start getting that loaded in. There we go. That's close enough to 9 tons, isn't it? There we go. 8952. Okay. So refueling is now underway. Hyacinth, good morning. Hope you're well. Pete, am I planning to do a trip to Newquay and join the G7? I don't think they'd want to listen to anything I've got to say. Right. So refueling is. Is underway. In that case, let's see if our passengers want to start boarding. Let's start getting you guys on board. We've already had the catering truck, so there's plenty of tea and coffee and snacks. Cabin crew, refueling is underway and the bags are starting to get loaded, so let's open the doors and allow our passengers on board.
Thank you. No problem.
Unicom and guard frequency. Get the transponder turned on. All levers where they should be. Tilt above. Everything looks good there. Let's come up to the FCU. 1021. Flight directors 1 and 2. Let's just turn the brightness up on that as well, shall we? Okay, and primary flight displays, turn those up. Navigation displays, ECAMs, and turn those first officer displays off. We need every frame rate we can get here at Madrid. So happy with all of that. ECAL alignment in around 4 minutes. All systems normal. Right, passengers are boarding. Just start to hear them making their way through. Let's come down, get the information from SimBrief. Just clear the scratch pad. And there we are, 2 hours 28 minutes and currently still refueling. So the performance, weight and balance, let's have a look. What do we have? We have 16,432. That's correct. Zero fuel weight 57.4. That is correct. 158 passengers this morning. Get that loaded. Check the aircraft weight there. Yep, so passenger weights have now been added to the airframe. So on the data page, we can check the aircraft status, LEAP engines, valid AirX cycle, onto the init page, pull that all through. Alright, so the alternate today is Manchester. Flight number Easyjet Europe 34 Alpha Mike, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Cost index of 8, flight level 380 minus 57. Temperature, we'll just update that. The tropo is a little bit lower, not much, 39246. That will get rounded up to 39,250. Flight plan, departing runway 36 right. And that is the Sienna 2 Whiskey. I say Sienna, it's not Sienna, it's Summer Sierra 2 Whiskey. Now let's find that. There it is. And insert. And then our arrival then at Edinburgh is runway 24. And it's going to be the NPIP 1 Echo via Tala. Insert. 951 miles. I've got 962 on that operational flight plan. Oh, actually that's just updated. Oh, 1 mile discrepancy. Excellent. Happy with that. RadNav page then. Let's have a quick look. See if there's see what we need to pop in there. If anything, we can put the Barajas VOR in there. BRA. And that's probably all we really need for that. We can put our final VOR on the departure in there, the Summer Sierra. Again, just for situational awareness, if anything goes wrong, we've got raw data backed up. There it is, 115.4. Get that set. Okay, and then the init B page. So there's our zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight center of gravity figures loaded in. Trip wind is a slight headwind of 7. Not too bad that. So we're loading. What are we loading? We're loading 9 tons of fuel. Aircraft suggests 7.3. And we're going to load with 9 tons, although that's still currently being loaded in. Let's pop in 8.9 for our fuel planning. There we go. Takeoff weight of 64.4. And just let all the computed figures arrive, which will only take a second, and then we'll just check the alternate. We need about 1.6 tons of fuel to get to the alternate, not 1.3, so we'll just go ahead and change that. Once that's done, we've got an extra 42 minutes of flying time, so that's okay. Onto our performance page then. Let's have a look. So the transition altitude here is, I believe it's quite high, 13,000 feet transition altitude. Here, 13000. It's a noise abatement 1 departure. Well, actually, it's a noise abatement 8 departure. First time I've come across that today. But that essentially means that thrust reduction is 1,500 feet above the airfield. The airfield is about 2,000 feet, so that's going to be 3500. And then 3,000 feet above the airfield, that's going to be 5,000 feet. So engine out acceleration also wants to be 5,000 feet. Flaps 1 and toga for our takeoff this morning. Calculate those V speeds. 137, 133 and 132. Alright, that is all set up. So let me see if I can just grab the Navigraph charts, and I need to put the code in for that, don't I? Oh, what have I just pressed? I've just pressed a button that I didn't mean to. There we go. Navigraph charts. Let me get the code. I love this feature, but what a pain having to pop it in every single time. So what is it? 52 Delta to Hotel 9 Juliet Echo. So Navigraph account has been successfully linked to the charts cloud. Oh, there we go. Right, so while the passengers finish boarding, let's have a look at doing the departure briefing. So we are parked at Terminal 1. We're at Gate Tango 5, all the way down here. So we're going to push back, and then we will taxi out via Mike, all the way up, 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 up and up, and then from there we take, in fact, where's the taxi routing? It's easy to see on here. From there we continue taking Mike all the way up and round through all these Mikes 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then we can take the continue on Mike all the way around. All the way around. This is how long this taxi is. My word, it's huge. And then we're holding at well, we'll go all the way up to Yankee 3, the holding point. So good chance to show off a single engine taxi today, isn't it? What a long taxi that is. Taxi trip is the same as the fuel trip. Willie, good morning. Yeah, quite right too. So let's then have a look at the departure. So after we've departed then, runway 36 right, here's our departure. So 36 right, straight out, and then 4,500 feet, slight right and slight left again. Maximum 205 knots in that turn. That's the only speed restriction we have. So we've got a max 205 knots. Let's have a look. So that's going to be flaps 1 until that point. And we're going to fly that at 195. So keep flaps 1 out until we finish that. Let's have a look how that looks in the navigation display. And we can pop that in. The other thing to mention, of course, is the initial climb is flight level 1 is actually at 13,000 feet. So let's go ahead and set that in the FCU. There we go. So let's just check what this departure looks like then on the navigation display. Yeah, there it is. You can see that little dog leg there going right and then back left again. If I just zoom out a fraction more. There it is. So that's fine. Let's get the constraints turned on. Has it got the max speed restriction in there showing as well? I don't think so, but we know it from the charts. So so that's okay. Let's put that back into arc mode. Now, there we are. We can flip on the VOR receivers as well. And refueling is now complete. Still 1021. QNH is accurate, so refueling complete. It's warm here, so we want to get the packs turned on now. APU 1, 2, 3. We'll get that started. Seatbelt signs can also come on, and the passengers can start getting strapped in. Okay, so we've briefed how we're doing the taxi and then the departure, but what about any threats? Well, we know the weather here is absolutely fine, glorious in fact. Aircraft is the FlyByWire A320neo developer version. Final approach not working still on RMP. That shouldn't affect us today, even all the alternates are ILS approaches. No times to be aware of, nothing that will affect us if we were departing from Edinburgh. Some takeoff distance runway available has been slightly altered, but obviously we're not taking off from there, we're just landing. Threats to be aware of then is the terrain on the departure. We have got the speed restriction on departure. Minimum safe altitude on our departure today is 10,000 feet, and as we head out north we do have terrain that we clear over, which is why we've got a nice quick climb out over that, and max speeds as well. All passengers are now on board. I've just heard the doors close. I think that jetway can start to disappear. Let's have a look at the bottom there, what's happening. I can hear self-loading cargo fighting with the doors. What are they doing? Let me see. Let me see. Right. There we go. Let me close those doors instead of letting self-loading cargo try and deal with it. There we go. All done. APU is now running, so that's good.
Cabin crew, what about ready for flags? You found the door now, crash check, thank you.
Get rid of the external power. And here comes the pushback tug to get us ready. Okay, so we need to do our before start checklist. Just going through some final scans. Fuel. Excellent. Alright, so before start checks, cockpit preparation is all completed. Signs are on and auto. Ideas 3.5 green. Fuel quantity is 8.9 tons and balanced. FMGS is set. Altimeter 1021 set both sides. And before we actually start, we need to make a call on Unicom as well. Let people know what it is we're planning to do. I think we're on Unicom, aren't we? Yeah, 122 decimal 8. That's all good. Right, let's get the call made. Madrid traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike stand, Tango 5, pushing back, facing north. Okay, so there's our pushback clearance. We'll get the beacon light on. Nose wheel steering is disconnected. Start the timer. check the brake pressure, transponder set, and
Madrid traffic, moment 313, inbound ILS 3 to left.
we've got traffic arriving just behind us, but hopefully you'll aim for the runway and not the taxiway. So we can do the before start checklist. Below the line, windows and doors closed and armed, beacon light is on, mobile phone is on silent, and parking brake is on. And we're about to turn that off. We'll welcome the passengers on board, push back, and we shall just start engine 1 and do a single engine taxi.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. My name is Gavin, and I would like to welcome you on board this Easyjet aircraft. We expect a good flight with you today, with no weather problems showing in front of us, so we should be pushing back within the next few minutes or so. For now, the ground crew have now finished loading the last of the baggage into the aircraft, so if you can get yourself seated and secured, then we can make sure we can depart on time. The cabin crew will shortly be providing their safety demonstration video, so it would be appreciated if you could give them your full attention. A special welcome on board to our Easyjetsimpilot members, and if you wish to inquire about becoming a member, please contact a member of the cabin crew. All our Easyjetsimpilot members are of course entitled to free drinks throughout the flight. Thanks very much, and we'll give you an update once we are airborne.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and a brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Good morning, HD. I'll double check that takeoff weight in a second, and we'll get the appropriate flex in there. Just concentrating on this pushback now that I do that manually. That's not looking too bad. We're at 66.4. 66.4. Mind you, we're going to burn some fuel off in the taxi, aren't we? So let's slow that down and end the pushback just there. Parking brake set. Does it still say stream starting soon? Let me get rid of that. There we go. So 62. We want to change that flex. There we go. Alright, so at the moment, oh, that's quite neat. The hydraulics PTU. I've not seen that on the eCam showing before, but as we are going to do a single engine taxi anyway, let's have a look. So engine 1 is now all stable, so we'll set the engine mode select to norm. We're going to pop the yellow electric pump on. Make sure we hit the right one over there. APU bleed can come off, ground control can come off. The APU, however, is going to be left on, and now we'll just do the usual of ground spoilers, rudder, flaps 1, and then check the trim position, which is not that one, is 29.5. There we go. So that's all set. Let's do our after start checklist. Anti-ice not required. Ecom status is checked, and pitch trim 29.5, rudder is 0. So HT, the power transfer unit is automatically running because engine number 2 is turned off. It's telling you that you can with the PTU in green. Nice to see. I've not noticed that before when engine 2 has not been turned on. But anyway, we're about ready to taxi now. So we're going to taxi out via Mike to holding point Yankee 3. Madrid traffic Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Taxi now via Mike 8 through to Mike 22, Mike 30 up to holding point Yankee 3 for runway 36 right. Parking brake is turned off. Mobile phone is quickly muted, and let's go. So don't want to get too lost again, like we did on arrival yesterday. And I do find when doing a single engine taxi you do need quite a bit more thrust in order to get the aircraft moving. So the fun bit will be working out when do we actually start engine 2 so that we've got a good 3 minutes running time. Right, so let's see, shall we? This first left should be Mike. Up here, and then hopefully we just follow this all the way up. But what a long taxi this is this morning. This is almost as bad as Schiphol. Hi Sith, let's hope the sim wasn't as drunk as it was yesterday. Well, I've got the wired mouse on standby, I've got the batteries already as well. Can't do anything about the potential PC crash. Not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. But as for everything else, fingers crossed. So, is that the aircraft that's just
Madrid
landed?
traffic, EC151 is fully established and localized for runway 32 left.
So now just follow this round. Still on taxiway Mike. Danny, yeah, you're quite right. I think I'm happier taxiing at Schiphol than I am here at Madrid. Mind you, I don't know Madrid. I'm very, very new to Madrid. I don't even think I've been here before in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. So very, very new. So I reckon by the time we get to the centre of the airport itself, we'll get engine number 2 started. I've also just recalled, I don't recall popping the taxi lights on. Not that it's too much of a problem here in bright daylight, but there we are. Okay, so here we are, still coming up now on Mike. We've got all these hangars here on the left-hand side. The taxiway to the right of us is Alpha. I don't know if we could see that on any of the signs. Yeah, there we go. So that's Alpha. And as I say, once we get to the sort of centre area of the airport, then we'll start engine number 2. Anyway, whilst we're doing that, let's get a couple of other things ready. So we want the weather radar, predictive wind shear, and all of those. We can do our PEDS check as well, so check our performance. It's still 1021, valid QNH 1021, that's fine. Engine out procedure, we'd make a with no specific information.
Free to left.
Just listening to that. With no specific real world data for that, I would just look to be coming back landing here on runway 32 left. So given the terrain that's around us, we're going to make a right hand turn, just circle all the way around, come back in, land on 32 left or 32 right. 32 right might be easier actually. Departure matches what we have in the FMGC, and our stop altitude is 12,000. Correction, 13,000. So just want to check how we're doing. This is where all the taxiways get a little bit complicated. So now, let's see. This should go straight across here. And then Mike, I believe, is still straight across here, and then it's the next right. Oh, HD, that shows you how often I do a single engine taxi, doesn't it? Is it the next right, or is that Alpha? This is Alpha that we're crossing now, isn't it? It's going to be this next right. So here we go. This takes us on to Mike 16, hopefully. I'd love to know how long this taxi takes in total. And let's just check. Oh, excellent. We're not lost yet. This is still Mike. With Alpha Zulu just behind us. Excellent. Still know where we are. For anyone that's got charts and following along. So I reckon once we get to sort of a beam the terminal here, we'll get engine 2 running. Willie, you basically need to start it so that you've got 3 minutes running time of engine 2. So that's why we're going to start it pretty soon. So we stay with Mike. Right, this should actually be straightforward. This takes us right the way to the end, and then we have to go left. Kian, good morning. I actually have software that I use for work, which is all audio software, so it's quite easy just to record. The Windows has a built-in voice recorder, and then yeah, I just have some software that I use, which adds the sort of radio effect to do that. Right, so now we're coming up on the airport terminal. Let's get engine 2 started. So engine 2 start, let's get the pump off. APU bleed on. Engine mode, select to start, engine to start, and we'll check that that's firing up as we can see. So this goes all the way to the end. We've destroyed a few buses on the way, never mind. They don't like to get out of the way, do they? Okay, so a left-hand turn here should be onto Mike 27. Here we go. Wish people at work wouldn't bother me when I'm trying to fly. Okay, so that's now stabilized and the timer is running. So engine mode select, back to normal. APU bleed can now come off, as can the APU. Right, let's just check where we're going here. This takes us all the way up, and we need to keep an eye out now for Yankee 1, 2, and I said we were going to Yankee 3, didn't I? So now, once this was done, we'd run the after start checks, wouldn't we? So the anti-ice is off, econ status has been checked, the pitch trim is set to 29.5, rudder trim set 0, and then the before takeoff checklist. So the flight controls checked, departure briefing has been confirmed as we did the PEDS check. Flaps is config 1, FMA and takeoff data 132 blue, 137 magenta, climb nav blue, 13,000 blue, 1 FD2 and 62 degrees of flex. Transponder is set, econ memo takeoff no blue, and the electronic flight bag is stowed. We can also test the brakes as well. Now, where's that taxiway that we're looking for? Let's see, so is that Yankee 1? I believe that will be over there, and we're going to make a right-hand turn then. Make a right-hand turn just here. And get the cabin all in their seats. Oh, good lord. They're screaming away. All I've done is turn right. I don't think they like single engine taxis. And that's Yankee 4, which we're not using. And I think we've actually timed that to perfection. 2 minutes 50 seconds on the timer at the moment. Great stuff. So the engine's been running perfectly. Good amount of fuel being used. Alright, so brake temperatures are good. We'll announce our lineup clearance. I've not heard any aircraft coming in for landing on 36 right, so that's fine. Let's get the lights on. Strobes, turn off, landing, nose lights, and transponder, TCAS, and we've already got the cabin sat down. Before takeoff checklist then, below the line, get the packs off as well. So the cabin is secured for takeoff. Engine mode select is normal. TCAS, TARA, packs off, anti-ice off. Madrid traffic, Alpine 3 for Alpha Mike, lining up runway 36 right, departure to the north. So we pushed back about 13 minutes ago. I'm impressed we managed to find our way to runway 36 right without taking a wrong turn. There we go, all is good. Final paranoia check. Make sure everything's correct. Down there and up there. Wonderful. Okay, so remember thrust reduction is 15, acceleration is 3000, above 2000 feet, the aerodrome elevation. Let's go, take off. Start the chrono. 50% in 1. Side stick half forward and set takeoff thrust and flex SRS. Remembering of course that speed restriction on departure. V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive brake arm, gear up.
So thrust reduction will be about 3,500. Just following the flight directives for the moment. There we go. Set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Still keeping the aircraft pitched up as we climb away, not accelerate away. Autopilot 1 coming on, so I can now get PAX 1 on. And then PAX 2. Oops. The panning of the mouse there didn't quite go as planned, but there we are. 5,000 feet. Now we're going to start climbing away. And we have a speed restriction of 1. Well, I think it's 205 knots. But we'll fly at S speed, 195 knots, until we're through it, which is just after this turn. So we can target that and set 195. As we're climbing away to 13,000 feet. No air traffic control online, so we'll clear ourselves higher than that once we've got through it. After this turn, we can go back to manage speed, and then we'll start to clean up. But beautiful looking scenery, as you can see. It was actually 205 knots was the maximum speed in this turn. I think I might have said 210, but there we go. We're through that turn now. So let's start to accelerate away. So manage speed. We'll pass S speed, we'll get flaps 0, there we go, flap 0. Disarm the ground spoilers. We can now release the cabin crew. They can start preparing your drinks and snacks. And still not a cloud in the sky. Don't know if anybody in the chat is actually in Madrid at the moment and can collaborate and tell us that that is correct. But as we're coming up now on 10,000 feet, we'll get the lights off. So past 10,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated.
And let's have flight level
Toilets are
380.
located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
So, flight level 380 blue. We've now got standard pressure set as well. Yuri Trump, is this my job? I wish it was. I think we'd need a few more tens of thousands of subscribers before that ever happened. Given the terrain that we've got around this airport, I could probably put the terrain radar on as well. That and the fact that there isn't a single cloud in the sky that I can see. But we're well above any terrain now, and we're in VMC conditions, so we're all good. And as you can see on the terrain radar, there's on the weather radar rather, there's no precipitation of any kind. Let's clear the RadNav page out. And time for you guys to be able to stretch your legs. We'll turn the seatbelt signs off. There we go. And a nice, pretty straightforward departure out of Madrid.
We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Combrick, providing you with virtual holidays to get away from the COVID nonsense. Yeah, well, this is a depressing flight, isn't it? For me, anyway, because this is a flight back to the UK. This is the flight back home that no one wants to go. HD, enjoy your day. Textbooks departure. I love reading stuff like that. Thanks, HD. And we're always all very, very grateful for your continued guidance and support for all of us. We'll catch you a little bit later, I'm sure. Graham B, good morning. What are the large white arrows for on the ADF? So presumably, are you looking down here to the left? I've actually got them turned, well, I've not got them turned off. I have now. I had them turned on for departure just because they were tuned to a couple of VORs. In fact, if I turn number 2 back on, was that tuned to the Som Sierra VOR? I can't remember. It may have been, but can I pop that back in? It might be easier to explain it. Sierra, India, Echo. Pop that one in. We're 6 miles away, and you can see that coming up. So at the moment, it's now set to the Summer Sierra India Echo VOR, as you can see just there. Once we pass that, you'll see those arrows spin behind us as we've gone over it. Will, you're not sure about that? The holiday goers were flooding the airports in Portugal to get back. Well, yes, quite. They had to, didn't they? Otherwise, what was it? isolation for 10 days. Oh, that sounds bliss, but unfortunately the kids will be with me. So in a minute, Graham, if you watch, the white arrows will spin behind us. There it goes, look, as we're starting to pass over it. And then it just disappears. And I can't actually show you on here. Well, there we go. As it's now just coming back in. But it is now behind us. Aviation Guy 123, how long have we got to landing? We've probably got about 2 hours 20 minutes until we land, so it's a nice daytime stream today. What I'm going to do is once we're up at cruising altitude, I'm going to come off the microphone and I'll be back. Well, I'll be on the in the chat rooms, but I shall be then back on the microphone for our landing in what I hope will be nice weather at Edinburgh. Pretty just around lunchtime. Let me see if we've got any air traffic control showing. Actually, we've got Eurocontrol West 13525. So we best give them a call. Uh, 13525, there we go, and we'll probably get a squawk code from them as well.
West Control, Ryanair 93 Yankee Victor, requesting permission to leave flight deck for 5 minutes just before descent.
Yeah, Ryanair 93 Yankee Victor, that's approved, just report back.
Roger, Ryanair 3 Yankee Victor.
Eurocontrol, good morning. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, passing flight level 250 to request level 380 and inbound Exerma.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, hello, initially climb for level 330 and squawk 0630.
Squawk 0630 and we'll stop our climb at flight level 330 Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. And set 330, 330 blue. Willie, question. You did a flight last night and was on the glide slope, but you couldn't figure out where the DME distance was. Doesn't need to be set independently as a tracking VOR. So, some ILSs are what's called ILS DMEs, which means the ILS has the distance measuring equipment built into it. Others do not, and they're just ILS radio beams. If they don't have DME, then usually on the charts you'll see that they're using a nearby VOR for the distances. If that is the case, then you do have to put the whichever VOR it is that they're referring to in into the VOR field, and obviously then turn it on.
So, for Alpha Mike to confirm the squawk 0630.
Oh, I never actually did that. Oh, my fault. Apologies, squawking now 0630. Can't actually see. I think that's set. There we go.
Alpine for Alpha Mike, thanks. You are now identified. Proceed direct to their log.
Direct to their log for Alpine 34 Alpha Mike.
Alpine for Alpha Mike, you can continue climb for level 380.
Continue climb flight level 380, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. And 380, 380 blue. There we go. Willie, so it was Ottawa, was it? In that case, Willie, do you know which airport it was? We might as well have a look at the charts, hadn't we? Now I can do that here in the sim. And thank you to Colin, Rocky and Yahoo who have liked the stream on Facebook. And Super Deal Aviation, good morning to you, 5 AM in the morning. Yes, quite right, we are indeed live. So I use a mod called self-loading cargo for my my passenger announcements. Okay, Willie, thank you for that. Which, do you know which runway it was? Charlie, Yankee, Oscar, Whiskey. Check these charts out for you. So, which runway was it that you were coming on? I'm going to guess, was it 32 or 7? And we'll find out. Romain, thank you for subscribing. Just keeping an eye on our flight level. Not a cloud around. I always get concerned when there's no clouds. I wonder, is there really no clouds, or is the live weather broken? Willie, you think it was runway 30? That'd have been a neat trick. There isn't one. Do you mean runway 32? Let's have a look. So, go to the top right. Yeah, it's just an ILS approach. There's no ILS DME showing there. So, the distances, right, there isn't one. So from, you can see they're using the Yankee Oscar Whiskey. Is that a VOR? Yes, it is. So they're using the Yankee Oscar Whiskey VOR for the distances. So you would intercept the glide slope if you were at 2,700 feet at 20.1 miles from the Yankee Oscar Whiskey VOR, and the runway touchdown is at 12.9 miles. So you would obviously put the ILS frequency in the LS field, but for any distances, then you would need the Yankee Oscar Whiskey VOR in there. Obviously, remembering, of course, that that is not based at the airfield. There is a localizer DME as well. What's the identifier for that? India Oscar Whiskey. So are those given on here as well? Strangely enough, they're not. But that's obviously much closer to the airfield, so you could use that just as a rough guide for the airfield.
You can change the frequency itself.
So you would need to pop in the LOC DME 1095 or 1146 to get some distances, and then use the chart to obviously reference whereabouts they are. But the actual ILS frequency itself has no distance measuring equipment.
Lufthansa 3 for Mike, thanks. Proceed to Almaty.
Bastian, how did I change the texture on the nameplate?
149er frequency.
Actually, I didn't do that. One of our very kind channel members sorted that for me, and it's just a file that you pop in. A bit like the coffee cups. So I get my nice Easyjet coffee mug as well, as you can see.
Eurocontrol, Renera 90.
I can tell live weather is actually working, Danny, because I can see cloud cover down there. If live weather wasn't working, it'd just be clear skies all the way around.
250 Renera 90 Yankee.
Effie and Super Deal Aviation, thank you for subscribing.
Yankee Victor, service system level frequency changes the blue.
Colin Davis on Facebook. For ground services, I use either the FlyPad or a mod called Pushback Toolbar, or Toolbar Pushback, available from flightsim.to. So whilst we're in the cruise, guys, if you haven't done so already, if you could kindly hit the like button on the stream for me, it makes a huge difference. It really, really does. So if you wouldn't mind popping the giving the thumbs up to the stream, that would be very appreciated. I say, once we get to flight level 380, I'll be coming off the microphone, but I will be with you in the chat after I've headed back to the galley to get a nice warm cup of tea. and then we should be on the ground in around 2 hours time. I like these daytime streams. Something to watch while you're at work.
Hotel, defense level 250.
Flight level 250, Ryanair 78 Papa Hotel.
78 Papa Hotel, service is terminated below, so frequency changes approved. Ciao.
Thanks, change approved. Thank you very much for the control, sir.
Welcome.
Oh, that's loud.
Simulate Romeo, I think it was you transmitting. I only heard noise, no sound coming out, just noise.
I heard lots of noise. I don't want to hear that again. It nearly deafened me. I'm not sure about you guys. So we're coming up on our cruising altitude now, flight level 380. Al Ali, good morning. No, I'm not on the virtual Easyjet. So that's Mac Alt Star. Oh, Danny, you'll love it once you get the new PC sorted. Alt Cruise, there we go. Yeah, I'll say you'll love it once you get the new PC sorted and everything's working smoothly, and then it'll crash the desktop and you wonder what on earth's gone wrong, and you'll never find out the answer because that's just Microsoft Flight Simulator for you. Mikhail, Mr. G and Al Ali, thank you very much for subscribing. Captain Rashid as well. Mr. G, greetings. You're first time watching and you're very late. Oh, you've not missed too much. And of course, if you wish at some point, you can obviously hit the rewind button. Right, we're now at the top of our climb, so we'll just do a few checks. Check our recam memo and see how we're doing with the SD pages. So, look at the difference in fuel because of that long single engine taxi. So, left engine burned about 100 kilograms of fuel more.
Going 4032, hello, you are identified. Proceed direct to our net 2.
All hydraulics are working fine. And again, yeah, there you go. Left-hand wing has got 100 kilogram difference. Not enough to worry about being unbalanced. APU obviously turned off. Temperatures 24 degrees in the cabin. Cabin oxygen supply and doors all armed. Brake temperatures are fine. All the flight computers fine. Status is normal. So let's have a look at our flight progress. Okay, we've been given a bit of a direct, well, we've been given quite a big direct, haven't we? To Dilog, which is now 103 miles away. We should be there around 15 minutes, so that'll be about 35, 36, 37 minutes into the flight. Let's have a look at the operational flight plan then. Oh, there we go. So that's fine. And when we get there, we've got about 5.6 tons. Should be the minimum. And we've taken 9 tons. So we'll see
Condor Charlie 6 Charlie Papa.
what that fuel check is like when we get there.
You proceed direct to Elvar.
Okay, guys. Well, now we're at our cruise. I'm going to head back to the galley. I'm going to go and grab myself a drink. I'm coming off the microphone, but I will be with you in the chat room when I return in a couple of minutes. Thanks very much for watching the departure. We'll be back landing and should be on the ground in a couple of hours. I look forward to seeing you all for that. But of course, I'll be back on the microphone as we get back over the UK and we start to plan our descent and arrival. Please hit that like button for me. It makes a huge difference. And and I look forward to speaking to you guys in the chat room on YouTube
Zero Control, good
very
afternoon,
shortly.
Viking 1194, flight level 330.
Speak to you soon.
Viking 1194, hello, Squawk 0632.
Squawk 0632, Viking 1194.
Ryanair 907, Hotel November, service terminated, frequency change approved. Speedbird 9 Papa Whiskey, descent for level 340. Speedbird 9 Papa Whiskey, service is terminated, frequency change is approved. Ciao.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you'll be delighted to hear that we're now at the cruising altitude.
Condor 6 Charlie Papa, expect to climb flight level 350.
6 Charlie Papa, if you can actually climb now for level 350.
This means that you will
Level 350, Condor 6 Charlie Papa.
Viking 1194, identify level 330, proceed to Molin.
Could you please ensure
Flight
that
direct Molin, Viking 1194.
for you cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that Easyjetsimpilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back and relax and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Very good morning again, Easyjet to Delta Papa, with you flight level 370, CPLC, is available.
Immediate 31 Delta Papa, hello again, and you can proceed direct to LATEC.
Fly direct to LATEC, Iberia 31 Delta Papa.
And 31 Delta Papa, New Squawk 0627.
Squawk 0627.
Good day, Aero Control, this is Alitalia 725, fly level 360.
Alitalia to crash 725, hello, identify, proceed direct to top 2.
Direct to top 2, Alitalia 725.
Aero Control, Pascal 434, request descent, flight level 340 as filed. Pascal 434, you can maintain level 38 if you want.
Okay, I will maintain flight level 380, thank you.
Nada. Open 34 Alpha Mike, of course, that's approved. See you soon.
Control West, good day, Lufthansa 817, passing flight level 1905, climbing flight level 240, inbound Gansu.
Lufthansa 817, all identified, climb level 310, that is the lead through.
And flight level 310, and proceed direct lead for Lufthansa 817.
Lufthansa 05, go. Lufthansa 05, that's approved.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. station, calling Fapers 449 and Cockmood Sharp.
Control, this is transfer for 410 Bravo, passing Takeoff Weight to
F-Scout 457 Bravo, land on the identified, continue, climbing 70 and squawk 0633. We got 712 Tango descend when ready, follow 250. There's 125 liner and control service terminated, frequency says the blue scout. Yeah, bom dia. Scout 457 Bravo, reportamos Coquis 0633.
Cockpit 0633, 457 Bravo.
Scout 434, direct Alpha November 2.
Direct to Alpha November 2, Scout 434.
Nashville 457 Bravo, direct to Holland.
Direct to Holland, 457 Bravo, yes.
Standard. Delta 905 Hotel, descend 1 ready, flight level 250.
Flight level 250, ready.
Alpine 34, Alpha Mike, pleasure, thanks. 3 Alpha Mike, you can proceed direct to South Coast. AZ2097, proceed direct to Ashport and descend 1 heavy, flight level 2502, cross Ashport. AZ2097. Stanza 905 Hotel, continue with Leishwa approach 119.1, ciao.
Pitch telephone approach on 119.1. Have a nice day, Lufthansa 905 Hotel, bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. AZ2097. Golf 434, descend 1 heavy, flight level 300 to be level by Alpha November Golf.
Again for Pascal 434.
Pascal 434, when ready, descend flight level 300 to be level by Alpha November Golf.
Descend to flight level 300 and before Alpha November Golf.
And to descend when ready. Lufthansa 053 is back on flight deck. 053, roger, thanks. And you can proceed direct to Omasi. Direct to Omasi. Left call 457 Bravo, confirm requested level.
Three 457 Bravo.
Yeah, you're passing 380 now.
Yeah, thank you, 457 Bravo. Descending 370. 457 Bravo.
Lufthansa 34 Mike, radar and control service terminated, frequency change is approved, ciao. Thanks, you too, choose. Alright, all stations, the time has come. Frequency is closing, so everyone monitor now. Unicorn 122.8. Have a great day and see you some other time. Ciao.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Abraço.
Tchau.
just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly. In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Hey guys, so back with you then for the descent and approach planning preparations. Alice Buckley on Facebook, do you need an expensive PC to use the flight sim? Well, not really, it's all about what sort of level you want. You can play it on low settings, of course. I'd recommend at the moment, the thing that's going to make it as expensive at the moment is the fact that the GPUs are ridiculously overpriced at the moment. But yeah, you're probably looking about for a decent level of the simulation and graphics, you're probably looking around £1,000 at the moment. Laptops will do it as well, but obviously not quite to the same extent, depending on the hardware, of course. And obviously laptops are more expensive. Okay, so this approach, let's have a look. So we're still currently on flight level 380. And let's just get the charts all loaded up. Let's close that down now, and we'll have a look and see how we're going to wave to Willie at Tartan as we fly over. Right, so flight level 380. We're going to come in at in PIP. We want to fly level 260, so we're going to be starting that descent probably about 45 miles away from in PIP and get down to 260. In rev 200, then a max speed of 250 knots at Esquito. Following that, we're then at Tartan, flight level 70. Do not proceed beyond Tartan without ATC clearance. Sadly, I don't believe air traffic control are online, so we'll just vector ourselves in, up and around for an approach to ILS runway 24 is our planned approach. Let's just have a look at the plan and check all that coding matches up with the charts I've just shown you. So we've just made a left turn at Ribble. There's InPip, there's Esquito, there's Tala, and that brings us around quite nicely for the ILS approach. We'll turn the constraints on now as well. Right, let's have a look at getting some weather then. I can't remember when I last requested the weather, so we may need to just get a later one. We'll send that off. And let's go to the AOC. Messages received. When was that? 10:46. Oh yeah, we'll wait for a newer Meto to come through. There it is. Let's print that off. Oh, Willie, is it overcast? 2,200 feet. So that's a pain. One of the other things I want to check then is I'm going to just drag this out. There's no scroll bar, is there, down at the bottom here to get to the approach sharks. So there we go, a 12-mile DME arc which was coded in. We saw that. Platform altitude 3,000 feet, and there we go. Transition altitude 6,000 feet, platform 3,000, minimum safe altitude 3,900 feet, and runway visibility range 550 meters is fine. So the decision altitude is going to be 300 feet. Once we've landed then, just get those charts up actually, once we've landed, we're taxi to the end, vacating left. There it is. Again, drag those out so I can actually see. Do you know what, I don't need these charts anymore. I'll clear those out and then I'll actually be able to access the charts I need. There we go. I don't need the taxi routines back for Madrid or the standard instrument departure. There we are. So there's the airport. Taxi down, then we'll either vacate via Bravo or at the end onto Alpha 1. Okay, and progress page. Oh right, we need to start that descent. Let's get our way down, shall we? So flight level 260.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination, at which point the cabin crew will start preparing for our
Thrust idle, open descent, 260 blue.
The cabin crew are able to make their way reminder for our Easyjetsimpilot members that free drinks are still available from the cabin crew until the seatbelt signs are turned off. Please note, however, that the toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Let's get the performance details entered in. QNH is 1015. 1015. Temperature 20 degrees. That sounds beautiful. Wind is 22015. So we might feel that a little bit coming in. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. And bang on 300 for the decision altitude. Do we need to pop anything in the rad nav? Let's have a quick look. We can prop the Edinburgh NDB in there, which is 341. There it is. EDN identified. 108 miles away. So let's just wind that speed up. We're a little below our profile at the... sorry, we're a little bit above our profile at the moment. Let's get ourselves down. Danny, the platform altitude is the lowest altitude you are allowed to go to before intercepting the glide slope. So I'm just keep winding that speed up to get us back on our correct descent path. And we can wind that up to 300 knots, no problem. Oh, so do we think these clouds will have burnt off by the time we get there then, Willie? So for those of you joining the chat, Willie in the chat room, the mod, lives right under this approach, and he's telling me the clouds are trying to burn off. From what I can see here, it's looking rather realistic, so that's really neat. Just check in, we still don't have any air traffic control, so kind of on our own. We're on Unicom, so that's okay. So at InPip, just here, you can see on the navigation display, that's where we want to be, file level 260. After that, we're heading to InRev. Can we see that on there? Yep, so we can continue our descent now down to flight level 200. So let's set flight level 200. We want to be flight level 200 by InRev. So that will get us nicely on profile. Then after that, it's Tartan. What a waypoint name for Scotland. And we can see the rain as well on the navigation display coming in. And as we're about to descend through that cloud bank, let's get the anti-ice on. Is that another company message? Just clear that off the eCam. Oh, it was just an ATIS that I'd not read. That's fine. we're looking to get back on our profile now. Wind that speed back a little bit. And we need to be 250 knots at Escdo, which we can see just here. So we're probably going to continue our descent now all the way down to flight level 70. So let's set that. Flight level 70070 blue is all set. We've got the weather and the landing information. FMGC is coded. Landing elevation is 100 feet. Auto brake wouldn't usually be required for Edinburgh. It's a decent enough runway lengthwise. We also don't have any sort of massive amounts of rain on it, so braking action should still be good, so that's fine. So auto brake won't be required. We'll get the terrain, as I don't think the weather's going to affect us too badly. I mean, what you would actually do is you could turn the terrain on over here if I turned those screens on, and leave the weather radar on. If I just zoom out a little bit, what's that weather radar looking like? Yeah, so it's not going to affect us. You can see all the rain is to the left, to the west, which looks really nice and accurate. So I'm going to pop the terrain on. Don't need to worry too much about the weather. And then we can just see Escro 10 miles. We're going to start rolling that speed back in a moment. Let's set the local QNH 1015. There we go. Ecam status is all good, no system errors. And we'll make a call on Unicom as well once we get to Tala, just so any other aircraft in the vicinity know what our plans are and what we're doing. Christian, now you know why your sim crashed on the flight plan to Palermo. The scenery mod from Flight Sim is bugged. Oh, really? Just tried to load it on the runway and the sim immediately crashed. We've been to Palermo before, haven't we? And I've not had any issues. This is why it's so different, isn't it? So different from computer setup to computer setup. And very frustrating. Right, where's the aircraft taking me? We've just passed the diesel point, I think. Right, so we need to slow that down. Track miles to run, what we got? About 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, about 50 track miles to go. So profile's looking good. I think as well, if ATC were online, they'd probably revoke that speed restriction. But we're just sticking with it for now. And we'll continue descending once we get to 250 knots. There we go. Continuing that descent. Right, well, as we descend through the cloud layer, let's get this seatbelt signs on. Run the approach checklist. So minimums are set both sides. Engine mode select is norm. Electronic flyback is stowed, and we've briefed our approach. I just want to check RadNav. Ah.
If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. If you are traveling with an infant, please ensure that they are
108.9. That wasn't
using the infant seatbelt harness provided.
popped in. It is now.
Contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
at these clouds. So we're about to be a beam teller. I'll then go back into nav mode. And are we in the approach phase already? Seems very far out. No, we're not. The autopilot just did a little bit of bugging. Keep an eye on that. Spicy nitrate, no, managed descent is not working. Don't use managed descent. It will follow constraints, but it will also drop you like a stone. I think it's a great effect as you're flying through the cloud layer. The the screens flash and flicker. Okay, let's head into nav mode. Edinburgh traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, overhead teller on the INPIP 1 Echo arrival, and flight level 110. So I believe it's overcast to 2,200 feet, so I might not see too much ground until we pop out on the final approach. And we're coming up now on 10,000 feet. Get the lights on. So that's done. Oh, just look at that. Little breaks in the clouds where you can see through. Awesome stuff. Bring the range rings in a little bit just to check how far we got to go. Track miles, we've probably got 10, 20, about 30 track miles and 9,600 feet. Spot on. Air Trooper 37, yeah, when I saw that Rex brought out that add-on not long after the simulator was first released, wasn't it? I thought, no. There's nothing wrong with what Azobo are doing. The weather is probably one of the best things, as we can clearly see. Look at that, sun rays just shining through and illuminating small parts of the cloud. So the landing system on. 17.5 miles out. Of course, that's direct, and we're going to come up to the north and back round for landing on runway 24. Runway visibility should still be 550 meters or above, so it's still going to be Cat 1, and that means, of course, that we'll be landing manually. That's a great effect with these double layers of clouds, isn't it? Look at that. I think it's fantastic. Profile, I'll give you a very, very, very quick look outside. I've got things to do. That's amazing. Whoa, that's dark over there to the west, isn't it? Okay, let's continue that descent down to 4,000 now. Thrust idle open descent, and we want to set the local. QNH 1015, 4,000 blue. Just reduce that rate of descent slightly, so 1,300 feet per minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrest down, and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
So the platform altitude is 3,000 feet. We can actually go down to that now. We'll set that 3,000 feet blue. And we're just now following this nicely pre-programmed 12-mile DME arc. Just watching, of course, that the aircraft doesn't decide to do anything daft and jump waypoints and skip them. We don't want that. So I've got a little replay running as well, guys, so we can have a look at that. Coming down nicely now to meet the autopilot. To meet the glide slope. Autopilot will capture that pretty soon. Willie, I'm now overflying your mother's house. Tell her to give us a wave, and I hope it's not raining. If I just turn that on, I can't see any rain there. That's fine. So let's start slowing down a little bit more. In fact, I think we're in the approach phase now, aren't we? So start heading down towards green dot. Give it a bit of help by reducing that descent rate. Mr. G, you're crossing your fingers, what for? OKTM, yeah, why would anyone use a weather mod when we have this? Quite right. Speed's now coming back. And we shall start to configure. So, flaps 1, speed check. Flaps 1. And it's warm enough now that we can turn off the ice. Just need a little bit of speed brake to help us get down there. Once we've got under 200 knots, then we can get flaps 2. Oh, I went to flaps 1. Flaps 1 didn't arm, that's why. That's a bit of a pain. Right, lock blue. Let's get flaps 2 out quickly as we're going to intercept the glide slope in a moment. There we go, flaps 2. Lock start. Glide slope start, lock start, Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 and 2. Yeah, that was pretty close, wasn't it? But we're okay, we managed to rescue that. Eight and a half miles out. And we can see the runway lights. Edinburgh traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, established 8 miles, runway 24. Radar altimeter is alive.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
So we can see that wind as well, 26 knots. That's going to drop off, but just keep an eye on that general direction. It should remain at that all the way down to the ground. Cloud layer was realistic though, wasn't it? About 2,200 feet. We popping out of that now. 6 miles, let's get configured.
Edinburgh traffic, Skyways 506, turning finals for runway 24, 11 miles to go, Edinburgh traffic.
Edinburgh traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha White, established runway 24 and 5.5 miles. So we've got an aircraft behind us, flaps 3. And flaps 4. Landing checklist, cabin secured for landing, auto thrust speed, go around altitude 3000 set, ECAM memo landing, no blue. Just before I turn off that autopilot, you kind of want to get that perfect zoom just so you can hopefully get a decent look.
1000. Edinburgh traffic, Skyway 506, fully established, runway 24, 8 miles to go.
He's close. Okay, so autopilot disengaged, I have control. Obviously just a little bit to the left of the centre line, but that wind is now going to bring us back in. I'll give it a bit of a helping hand though, because that wind is going to drop off, so let's get that centre line back on track, shall we?
$500.
500. Approach stable. And we're just watching those PAPI lights as well.
300. 100 above.
A little bit windy actually.
Minimum.
And obviously continue.
100. 50. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
And spoilers deployed, reverse screen, decel. I'm also spotting hints of precipitation on the windshield. 70 knots, reverses off.
Edinburgh traffic, Skyway 506, short finals, runway 24, 4 miles to go, Edinburgh traffic.
So he's at 4 miles, let's quickly vacate and get out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that
Why are they
you
screaming
remain
now?
seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make
Edinburgh
sure
traffic
to take
runway
all your
24
personal
vacated.
belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking
Okay, so we'll get taxied up and then
On behalf
we'll
of the
watch a
captain and
replay of
crew,
that with
it has
obviously
been
the
our
live
pleasure
weather,
looking
see
after
how
you
that
today.
looks.
Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the
I can't
latest news,
remember
promotions, flight and destination
if I've ever
information,
landed at
check out our
Edinburgh
official Facebook page,
in nice weather.
Twitter or Easyjet app.
And I think I've just seen that traffic coming in. Let's get the radars off, TCAS and transponder. And clean the aircraft up. I have to remember the taxi light as well. It's now turned on to takeoff as per the new SOPs, so I need to go back. Can't believe the passengers are whining because the bar is shut. there's the aircraft that was on final behind us, touching down. I think we got in just before the bad weather did, didn't we? Edinburgh traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, taxiing to terminal via Echo. And then we'll see if the replay mod is working. Hopefully catch a nice replay of that in this murky weather. Stand number 6. Let's get the taxi lights off before we turn and blind the flight crew, shall we?
Edinburgh traffic, Skyways 506, runway 24 vacated, taxiing to stand via Alpha and Echo, Skyways 506.
See if we can get anywhere to the stop line. There we go. Okay, stop line on. Turn the push buttons off. Transponder standby. Squawk 2000. And then I would ordinarily now turn the engines off, shut down, etc. APU is running. However, I want to watch the replay, so we'll leave the engine running for now. Michael, do I have scenery for Edinburgh? Yes, I do. Available free from flightsim.to. And as you can see, it's a very nice looking mod, especially for free. I haven't come across a bad one, actually, to be fair. There are some which try and import Google images over the top, and they're a bit of a mess, but everything else is pretty good. Wow, what lovely weather. So, let's have a look then at the let's have a look at the replay if we can get this done. So I'm going to stop recording and we'll load the replay in. See if this works. And it just has to reload. So we'll just give that 30 seconds. So guys, if you enjoyed the flight, please do hit the like button on the stream for me if you haven't done so already. A big thank you to all of you that have subscribed as well through the flight. So Cryptic, Charlie Lemire, Roll Call TV as well as didn't see you guys subscribing as we were touching down, but I'm gonna have a look now and get this replay wound up. I don't know Edinburgh too well in the real world, but if, Willie, you say they've done a brilliant job on the fire practice area, then fair enough. And the tower is spot on. Okay, you remember how bad the weather was during the 10K sub final day landing? Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Okay, so let's just skip forward until we've got the final bit of landing sorted in.
1,500. Too low. Terrain.
Just wait until some of the scenery pops in. Let me just turn off the ground proximity warnings. That's it. So this just takes a second or two. And we can see that loading in now. Let's hit play. And we can enjoy the landing. But yeah, what murky weather. But great to experience, and I think it's fantastic when you've got people in the chat that are obviously living nearby, like Willie today, that says, yeah, I'm looking out the window, this is exactly what it looks like. Fantastic job. The weather engine does appear to be getting better and better with each update, doesn't it? It really, really does. And as we previously mentioned in the chat, it does beg the question, what really is the future of Rex? Because I don't think they're going to have many places in simulators like Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's just so good. stock. So good. Wayne, the replay didn't crash it. No, it didn't. It still had to reload the flight though. It never used to do that before, but hey ho. Prevel, are we doing more flights today? We may get another flight in tonight, but I cannot guarantee that. If we do, that'll be a double stream, so that'll be interesting. So as we're coming in here, I don't know if it's just me or my imagination, but it just seems as though it's almost on a go slow. If we have a quick look and see what it looks like here. Yeah, I mean, ignore the instruments. The instrument things aren't recorded, but it does just look like we're going very, very slowly. We definitely did not approach this slowly. So, since the last sim update, the replay mod that I used just doesn't work as well. So, SP, this is the payware one, but as I say, sadly, it just doesn't seem to be working as well, because it's certainly not this slow. This looks like a slow motion replay. So goodness knows what the touchdown rate will be when this comes in. I can of course speed that up, and you can tell that that's now sped up by the way that airframe is vibrating if you watch the wing flex. But I might have to try the free one. And see if that works any better. This used to work perfectly, but sadly I am losing interest in it. It's not quite the same. Yeah, Mr. G even says alpha flow, and that's because the flight reloads back in. As the flight reloads back in, it sends all the systems haywire. It didn't used to. Christian, I'm sure Azobo will do it. Have they got it on their time frame to bring in their own replay tool? Which obviously I'm a fan of. Anything that can become built into the simulator, I'm a big fan of. I didn't realise the terrain rose quite so sharply just there. To the south of the airport. Farmland. What I really like about the farmland is you also see the tractor lines, don't you, where they've ploughed the fields. How great is that? Wouldn't it be nice if you just saw a random tractor going up the dirt track? But this replay is most certainly at a slower speed than it was to begin with. It's also as buggy as hell, these frame rates. Willie, is that right? The only airport without a train station and a train track is there at the threshold. Yeah, you can see the frame rates are nowhere near what they were when we actually did the original approach. But there we go. It is what it is. It's almost stop motion animation, this. But anyway, for those of you that were here during the actual landing, you saw how great that weather effect was. It was really, really nice. Okay guys, I'm gonna have to shoot. I need to go and do some real work. So thank you very much to everybody for watching the stream today. Hope we've provided you with some entertainment this morning whilst you've been going around your normal working day routines. There's a chance I'll be back tonight with another live stream, so we'll see how we get on with that. Thank you very much to those that have donated and contributed to the stream throughout the flight, and as always, a big thank you to the Easyjetsimpilot channel members. I look forward to seeing you all again very soon in the next stream. Once again, big thanks to everyone for helping us get up to over 12,000 subscribers now. I look forward to seeing you all on the next flight. Have a great day, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.
$2,500.